Alright, so next up is this chapter right here. So judging the strength and weakness by the halfway points. So judging by halfway points. There's advantage to be gained by watching the halfway points on rallies reactions as a basis for judging strength or weakness. When stocks advance 2 points and then react 1 point, it is normal. All he's saying is a halfway back is normal, so that's where you should expect it to go. And but there are other points also. It's not just, oh yeah, 50% retracement. It's much more than that. But if it reacts less than a point, it gives us an indication of strength. So if it's like, say, a 35% retracement or 37% retracement, 38% retracement, it's better than a halfway back retracement. If it reacts more than a point, there's an indication of weakness, meaning if you go 68%, over halfway back, there's an indication of weakness. So how much is the pullback? How much is the pullback? Alright, that's the key. So this is why if the market pulls back a lot, it's not a good thing. You want a pullback, you want to enter on a pullback, and it's a little bit tough because you're trying to minimize risk by getting in on a pullback. But at the same time, understand if you got too much of a pullback and you're in the market, there's an indication of weakness because that pullback was too deep. So this is it's kind of like being risk averse, risk-based mentality. At the same time, understanding that a market that doesn't pull back and that does pull back but doesn't pull back a lot is actually less risk. Meaning the market is more likely to be strong and go into your direction. So this is like counterintuitive because you're trying to measure risk by having a deep pullback and getting in because you think your risk is small. But isn't your risk smaller if the market doesn't pull back that much, which is an indication of strength? And if you're long, that's a good thing. So this is something that you kind of have to measure in your mind and know how to trade. Using this way with the halfway point as a sort of measuring stick. The halfway pullback, the halfway 50% mark as a measuring stick, we can really derive an advantage. So let's talk about that advantage. This is proven by numerous examples in the text accompanying our tape reading charts. Other signs which may be included under this heading are those extreme cases where after a movement of 3 points in a certain direction, a reverse movement takes place to the extent of all or nearly all the preceding moves. All he's saying here, yeah, it goes up and then it goes all the way back down. So what about that case? What if a market, for example, goes up 3 points and then pulls back 3 points? What about that? So a stock that advances because the buying power is greater than the selling power. But if it does not hold this advance, meaning it pulls back, especially if it pulls back all the way, if it immediately reverses and loses all or most of its gained, meaning the pullback goes all the way back down from where the rally started, this tells us that someone took advantage of the strength and sold the stock back to its starting point. All that means is some dude was at resistance and slammed it. Okay, by offering more shares than the buyers are willing to accept. So what you want to do is you want to know about that. If the market rallies and it comes all the way back down, that's not a good sign. That's not a pullback. That's a full retracement. Why did it do that? It did that because there's someone up there selling at resistance areas or wherever that turn occurred at the top of the rally, right? So you want to definitely mark that area. Oh shit. Alright, the same illustrations may be applied to a raid or drive down of say 3 points or more. Same thing. If the market goes down and comes all the way back up, that's a sign of strength. And believe it or not, you actually kind of see that many times. The way it looks is like there's a climax and then right after that is a big strong rally. A lot of times that's how trends change. I see it typically. What I see